2023. My name is Oscar Surbakti, a news anchor at TRT.
Çekiyorum efendim. And that also provides an advantage for Turkey going forward. I know market still has a degree of skepticism. We respect that. That means we have to deliver before we can win them over. But if you look at month-on-month inflation dynamics, already there is strong evidence that disinflation has begun. And it will accelerate, and it will be very visible in the second half of next year. We've been very clear. What are we doing to achieve that? Well, there is the conventional monetary policy tightening, but there's also selective credit tightening and quantitative tightening. Well, I've been given only 25 minutes, so I don't have time to go into details. But we're doing textbook. We're doing everything that is needed to bring inflation down. I am convinced that there will be plenty of evidence going forward that inflation is falling in line with our... This year, we've penciled in a deficit of 6.4% of GDP when we redesigned our program. But it looks like we're going to do much better than 6.4%. The deficit is going to be significantly below, hopefully, 6% of GDP. And that's despite actually earmarking whatever the money is needed, deploying whatever resources are needed to recover from devastating February earthquakes. Next year, earthquake is still going to be an important factor in deficit. But from 2025 on, if we look at growth recently, it's been not of very top quality. Why? Simple. Because net exports contribution has been negative. We would like to reduce the drag on growth from net exports. This is what we mean by rebalancing. As we rebalance, inflation will fall, current account deficit will narrow, and that's really the key to long-term sustainable growth. I don't have time. It's largely dominated by gold imports, the pinkish part of the chart. Why? Why Turkish people are importing so much gold? After all, it's not edible. Well, the monetary policy practices of the past has led to gold demand as a hedge against inflation. But now that we're going to bring inflation down, the need for such a hedge is going to diminish. And therefore, gold imports is going to moderate. If you look at the past 20 years, gold imports amounted to rough structural reforms. And this leads to investor confidence, local and international. This leads to portfolio preferences or flows, exchange rate stabilization, possibly real exchange rate appreciation, and this fostering speedier disinflation. And as disinflation gains momentum, we create a virtuous cycle. And that's how it's meant to work. We believe that disinflation will support further sound policies and structural reforms. So this is how we see it working. Is it working? Well, one piece of evidence that I can show is that country's risk premium, Turkey's risk premium, has fallen significantly. This is good news, because this is not a market that we can interfere with. This is a global pricing of our risk. Very simple. Globally, investors seem to think that we are doing the right things. Second, exchange rate volatility has diminished significantly. Now, I know many of you, or at least market players, seem to think that central bank is in the game. Central bank is not in the game the way you think. We only provide FX for those who are changing from so-called protected lira deposit schemes to FX deposits. Other than that, we're not in the market. It's a